Welcome to all. The subject is Advanced Java Programming and the subject code is CA408A. I am Dr. A.Mary Odilya TEENA, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Computer Applications, St.Joseph College, Cuddalore. Today I am going to explain about Layout Manager in Java. Layout Manager is a class which is used to arrange the components in a particular manner. What is a layout? Layout means the arrangement of components within the container. What is a component and what is a container in Java? In Java, ADT is an API to develop GUI or window-based applications in Java. GUI means Graphical User Interface. The Java ADT components are text field, label, button, etc. Here, the Layout Manager is a class which determines how these components of a container are organized. And also the Java Layout Manager helps to control the positioning and size of the components in GUI forms. The Layout Manager in Java is an interface and it is implemented by all the classes of the Layout Managers. Suppose if you are not mentioned the layout, then the Layout Manager takes the default layout. So this is the general format. How to set the layout? Void set layout within the bracket Layout Manager obj. Obj is the object, Layout Manager is a class, set layout is the method. In Java, set layout is the method which is used for set the layout. Next we'll see the types of layout. Flow layout, border layout, grid layout. So these are the types of the layouts in. First we'll see flow layout. So flow layout is the default layout for an applet. Here applet is a container in Java ADT. I already told what is ADT. ADT means Abstract Windowing Toolkit. So this is an API to develop the GUI based applications or window based applications in Java. Here applet is a container. Container is also one of the component in the ADT hierarchy. So the flow layout method is the default layout type for an applet. In this flow layout, places the components in a sequence one after the other on a row. By default, the components are aligned in the center and placed from left to right and from top to bottom. The orientation of the components in the flow layout can be changed by the set component orientation method. The constructors here used in the flow layouts are flow layout, empty parenthesis, flow layout within the bracket int alignment, flow layout within the bracket int alignment, comma, int h, comma, int v. Here h and the v are the horizontal and the vertical gap between the component. Now see the example program. The first line is the import statement, import java.adt.asterisk. This statement is used to import all the classes and subclasses in the ADT classes. The second import statement is used to import applet classes and subclasses. Here layout manager is the class in the ADT. So the first two statements must be used in the flow layout method. And then now see the line public class flow demo extend applet. Here flow demo is the name of the class, extend is a keyword, applet is a class. So I already told the Java ADT can be created in two ways, either in the applet window or in the frame window. In this program I use applet method. The next line public void init. Init method is the one of the method in the applet class, and this method is a initialization method. So within this method I am going to set the layout. So the layout can be set by set layout method. So set layout within the bracket new flow layout. The next line for loop. So in this for loop the initial value is 1 and the condition and the last condition value is 12, which means the loop will be executed from 1 to 12. So within the loop I am going to display the button in the flow layout manner. How will you run the program? Javac is the command to compile the program. Here the class name is flow demo. So javac flow demo.java. After compiling, the programming is running by using the applet viewer tool. So applet viewer is one of the tool used in the applet program. So applet viewer flow demo.java. So this is the output of the flow demo program. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6 up to day 12 is displayed in the applet window. I already told the flow layout, the components are in a sequence one after the other. So in this way the 12 buttons are displayed one after the other in a row wise. Next we will see border layout. Border layout divide the container into 5 regions. The 5 regions are north, south, east, west and center. Each region can contain only a single component, and this is the default layout of the frame container. I already told flow layout is the default container for the applet container. Here border layout is the default layout for the frame container. By default the components are added to the center region. The border layout helps to arrange the components. See the constructors of the border layout class. Border layout empty parenthesis. This constructor method creates a border layout with no gaps between the components. Border layout within the bracket int hgap int vgap. So this constructor is used to create a border layout with the given horizontal and vertical gaps between the components. So this is a sample program for the border layout. Here the class name is border demo. I used applet container, and the init is the method, initialization method in the applet lifecycle. The set layout method is used to set the border layout, and then add method is used to add the button in the north region. Add south new button south. In this way, the buttons are arranged in the border layout based on the 5 regions. This program can be compiled by using the javac command and run by using the applet viewer tool. So this is the output of the border layout, and Happy Pongal is the text that is printed in the center of the screen. Because in this program I am using the string message, string msg equal to Happy Pongal. Happy Pongal is the message. This is the string message, and I am using the component text area which is used to display the string message in the border layout center region. Next we will see grid layout. The grid layout divides the container into rows and columns. So I already explained container. It is a applet container or a frame container. Container is also the component in the AWT hierarchy. So here the grid layout divides the container into rows and columns. The intersection of these rows and columns is called as a cell. Each cell in the container contains only one component. The position of the component in a grid is determined by the order in which the components are added to the grid. That is, the position of the component in the grid is determined by the order in which the components are added to the grid. That is very, very important, because the grid layout arranges the components in the rectangular grid. So only one component is displayed in the rectangle. Now see the constructor. There are 3 types of constructors used in the grid layout. First one is the empty constructor. Second one is a grid layout with the number of rows and columns. It creates the grid layout with the number of the rows and columns, but there is no gaps between the component. But in the third constructor type, creating the grid layout with the number of rows and columns, and also it gives a gap between the horizontal and vertical gap between the components. So this is a sample program. So in this program I am going to set the layout method by using the setLayoutMethod class. Set layout. Now we'll see the example program for the grid layout. So in this program, the grid layout is set by using the setLayout method. The number of rows and columns are 2, 2, which means number of rows is 2 and the number of columns is 2. So it creates 4 rectangular. Each rectangular boxes contain only one component. So there are totally 4 components. The first component is named as 1, and the second component button is named as 2, and the third component named as 3, and the fourth component is the button named as 4. Then add method is used all the buttons in the grid layout. So it is compiled and executed. The output of the grid layout is shown in the screen. So there are 4 cells. Each cell consists of a single component. So I used 2, 2. So 2 rows and 2 columns, which means 4 components can be placed in the grid layout method. Thank you for watching.